What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Civivi Yonder. So this is Zac Whitmore's first ever knife design. For those of you who don't know, Zac Whitmore is a legend in the knife community. He was one of the original hosts of Blade HQ and probably runs one of the best knife related content YouTube channels right now. And his knife design, the Yonder, has been one of my go-to knife recommendations for my friends and non-knife people because of how affordable it is and how versatile it is. I'll flash up the specs of the Yonder on screen right now, and of course here's my favorite size comparison up against popular EDC size knives. As you can see, the Yonder is definitely on the smaller size. It's most comparable to the mini bug out and is also a bit smaller than the classic Civivi Elementum. And here's a side/thickness size comparison. As you can see, the Yonder is pretty standard when it comes to thickness. The Yonder is a fully ambidextrous knife. You have dual thumb studs, you have Civivi's version of the crossbar lock, as well as a reversible deep carry pocket clip that also features recessed screws and a flush mounted clip, which is really nice. The blade is in a reverse tanto shape and comes in 14C28N, or at least for the two base versions of the Yonder. I know there's a nice little Damascus version, but of course for the standard versions, 14C28N, definitely one of the best budget blade steels on the market. It's not powder metallurgy, it's not going to be any super steels, but for the price point, for what you're getting, it's a solid steel. It has a great amount of toughness, it's stainless of course, and while it doesn't hold an edge forever, it is relatively easy to sharpen, which is nice. The blade does come with jimping on the spine of the blade, which is really nice. That's one of my personal preferences when it comes to pocket knives. The handles, I believe you can choose from G10, micarta, and wood in that Damascus version. I opted to go with the micarta version. I really like the way it looks with the black blade, and micarta has a nice grippy feel. I believe this is actually called a green micarta. I don't really know why they call it green. It mostly looks like a dark gray or black, but regardless, it does look really nice with the all black hardware and the black blade, and of course provides you a nice grip. While definitely on the smaller side, I can still get a full 4-finger grip that's nice and comfortable, and of course I can rest my thumb up against the jimping, and the design of the handle also features what's kind of like a finger guard, so if you're using it in a heavy use manner or thrusting, you won't have to worry about your finger sliding forward onto the blade. The crossbar lock action is excellent. The blade runs on bearings, and of course it being a crossbar lock, in addition to being fully ambidextrous, the crossbar lock is what I like to call a finger safe lock. I call it finger safe in the sense that when you activate the lock to push the knife closed, your fingers aren't in the path of the blade when it closes, meaning that it's finger safe and you won't have to worry about accidentally cutting your fingers when you are closing the knife. And of course, because it's a crossbar lock, you can close the knife really fast without having to worry about any safety issues. It's also a nice way to flick the blade open and closed, and of course it's very fidgety. You have a pretty much almost all open back design, save for 2 back spacers. Other than that, it's pretty much all open back, as you can see. The Yonder also features steel liners that do have some cutouts to reduce its weight. The Yonder is definitely one of my favorite budget knives. It's been one of my go-to recommendations to people looking for their first pocket knife. It's a very attainable and affordable price point. It starts around, I think, like 55 bucks for the G10 version. This micarta version is a little bit more expensive, coming in just at under $60, but of course for what you're getting, that's an excellent price. You get a really nice budget steel, you got quality materials. Civivi and and Senka, of course, are probably the gold standard when it comes to the mass manufactured Chinese made knives. The build quality is excellent, the action is great, it's a very versatile design, and of course it's fully ambidextrous, so I don't really have any problem recommending this knife to people first getting into knives or those on a tight budget. I think Zac knocked it out of the park with this design. The design is very versatile, the knife is very compact, the choice of materials was great, and was definitely a great knife to debut Civivi's first ever crossbar lock.